Wet dreams and the power of thought on semen retention. Okay. So this is a semen retention video. We are holding in our life force energy. We are not releasing by ourselves or with a woman. We are getting all these physical, mental, and spiritual benefits. Okay. I've talked about countlessly, in my previous videos. So if you want to know more about the benefits, go and watch pretty much any other video on my channel, or you can search it up. But we're getting these benefits, okay? And as you progress in your journey, you are likely to have wet dream at some point, okay? If not multiple wet dreams. And people always ask me, Wes, or it's probably one of my most frequent comments in my videos and many other channels videos as well, is a wet dream a relapse? And I would say yes and no. Okay, mostly no. And the reason I say mostly no is because I believe that if you are focusing, desexualizing your mind, and you're not fapping, and you're living an honest, pure life, then it's more physiological. It's your way of your body getting rid of excess, okay, to make room for more. Also, I've heard that somewhere, I think in the 70 to 80 day range is when your semen matures fully, okay? And this is why I think in a lot of, I think it's like brahmacharya or something, a lot of books say that you should go at least 90 days before you see like every benefit, okay? And excuse me if my if I'm smacking, okay? Sometimes I get excited and I smack my mouth. But yeah, they say to go 90 days. So in my dream, it was not sexual, okay? So I'd had sexual dreams and it couldn't get me to release. I had woke up several times with, being erect, and it couldn't get me because I became fully aware, and I woke up before I would even release. So on day 60, I'm currently day 70 right now. On day 60, I released, so it wasn't a sexual dream. I was in some like public building. Had to have been like some sort of like government building or something like that, because I had walked into kind of like the main hall area, and some girl had like a clipboard and she was writing something, and she says, "All right, I'm going to donate for you to be in this position because I really think you'd be a great fit." And it was a leadership public position, and I was like, "Really? Okay." So immediately my ego's being boosted in this dream, and somebody else had walked up and said, "Oh yeah, absolutely, he would be a great fit." So at this point I had realized I had to go to the bathroom. So I said, "Hey, is there a bathroom around here?" And she pointed. "Oh yeah, there's a bathroom over there." So I go into this public bathroom, and I go to one of the urinals, and I'm going to the bathroom, and it's a public bathroom. So, people are coming in and there's no partitions between the urinals. So I'm kind of shifting, so, just kind of get more privacy. And as I'm going to the bathroom, the water level, or the urine, is filling up. It's filling up the bowl. And, and I'm starting to, kind of stand a little bit taller on my tiptoes, so that way, my privates aren't submerged in this toilet water. So as it's filling up, I'm starting to get splashback, and the splashback triggers a release. Okay, it starts triggering. It triggered the point of no return, and I start to release, and I realize this in my dream. And I'm like, no, I'm releasing, and at this point, I'd realized I was in a dream state. I was dreaming, so I woke up. And yeah, sure enough, the inside of my underwear was all sticky and wet, and I was still kind of releasing as I woke up. So I immediately, I felt kind of disgusted, but I knew, like, okay, like there's nothing I could have done to prevent this. So I just have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and I kind of assessed the situation. I looked, and it seemed more liquidy than sperm. Okay, so it was more liquidy than milky. Okay, so as the Regal, was it the Regal change? Thaddeus, he always says coconut milk. Cracks me up. But yeah, so it was more. So I would say it's more of a. In that case, it's more of a physiological release. Okay, and he did give me kind of some insight on this. This is going to happen. Okay, it's your way. Your body's going to make room for more healthier semen, more healthier sperm, and it just has to get rid of this excess. Now, if you're constantly in a lustful state and you're still edging, you're still looking at stuff, then I would honestly say that it's more of a relapse. Okay, because you haven't desexualized your mind, and you're just bringing that right into your dreams, and your body is just finishing what you started. Okay, in my case, and I would say probably most cases of people that are serious about this journey, I would say that it's more physiological and it's not a relapse, because we've made this a lifestyle, and this is going to happen. This is going to, you know as long as it's not too frequent, I would say this is just very natural and it's going to happen. Okay, so don't freak out. Don't I would say you don't need to reset your relapse or your SR counter. So if you're counting the days, I have an app that counts my days, just so I know where I'm at, where I started. And then what I do is I add another counter. I did, because it's my first wet dream on my journey. So I added a counter since WD wet dream. Okay, so that it's now been, what's today's day 70. So what, 10 days since my wet dream. Okay, so that's it. Those are my thoughts. I feel like as long as you're desexualized and you're serious about your journey, it's probably more physiological. And if you're more lustful, you're still edging, then I would say it's a relapse, because you haven't fully committed to this journey, and what you're doing is you're edging in your dreams, and you're low hanging fruit for those demonic spirits. Okay. Now, the power of thought and how this is going to tie into wet dreams. So the more we think about stuff, the more we can manifest things, right? At least on this journey, you realize it's one of the hidden benefits of this journey is you realize that things tend to go your way. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, it's very unusual. It's a blessing, really. I think God rewards those that follow in the righteous path, right? And the righteous path being you are not lustful, you are not fornicating, you are not being you're not committing adultery, and and he even says in the Bible that if you look at another man's wife in a lustful state, you've already committed adultery. Okay, so if you are if you see attractive women or promiscuous women, and you take the initiative to just look away and focus your attention away, you're not giving those people power. Okay. Their value went down because you didn't give them the power to have that value. So in that case, your value went up and you're going to be rewarded for that. Okay. So the same thing goes for, let's just say you don't want to get rid of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and stuff like that, but you went through it like I did, and you hit not interested on anything that was promiscuous or anything that might trigger you. So if you consciously take that initiative to not look or look away or close the app or close your eyes, stuff like that, then you are giving yourself more power, okay? And you're going to be rewarded. You're going to see that you're going to get more good luck and you're going to manifest more in your life. Now, in the Bible, and I'm new to the Bible, I'm not going to claim to be some biblical prophet or any sort of expert in any way, but I know in the Bible, in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus spoke in parables, okay? And parables can be very confusing, but there's a lot to read inside that you can figure out by reading these parables. And also when Jesus told his disciples to go off and heal, he gave his disciples the power to go off. Well, the Father, God gave them the power to go heal. But he says to his disciples before they leave, he says, when you go out, do not worry about what you will eat, what you will drink, and what you will wear, okay? And in this, you have to really analyze this because he's telling them to have faith and to not think in lack, okay? To have faith in God that things are great and are good and will be good, okay? When you are constantly pre-planning everything in your life, you're trying to organize everything in your life to a T, this is how it needs to go, you're going to very quickly find out that there is so much that is out of your control. And you are going to be humbled. Okay, that's probably the best word I could put. You're going to be humbled very quickly. Okay, and I stepped away from trying to plan everything in my life. I just kind of go day by day now, and I just go day by day, and I just, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. This is what I'm going to do now. This is what I'm going to do now. I do not try to pre-plan everything in advance because I get humbled very quickly, okay? And I notice that things are not likely to manifest the way I want it to, okay? And I think that's kind of somewhere along the lines of what Jesus was trying to tell his disciples. Just go and heal these people and have faith that God will give you this power to heal these, sick and injured people. Okay. So just go about your day, give what you need to give thought to. So if that's something you're working on, like a business, focus on where you're at in the moment, because there's so much out of your control that you cannot worry about. Okay. So if you have stuff that has come your way that you're starting to worry about, don't worry about it. Okay. So that's all I got to say. All right. So if you found value in this video, please give me a like, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.